Good morning, children. Welcome back to our session. Children, in the last class we have studied about new kings and kingdoms. Was there a lot of confusion? So let me quickly recapitulate what we have seen. Under the part 1, children, we tried to understand about the new kings and kingdoms, like they were the subordinate kings of the Chalukyas of Karnataka, and later the emergence of the Rashtrakutas. Rashtrakutas have performed, the founder of the Rashtrakutas was Dantidurga. He performed a yajna called as Hiranyagarbha. And later we also tried to understand the northern areas, the northern part of India, where a tripartite struggle carried out for the sake of Kanauj. And this was fought between Gurjara Pratiharas and other two kingdoms. And we studied about the Prithviraj Chauhan, the Chauhan's kingdom, and even about Muhammad Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori. Later we moved on to part 2, that is about the Chola administration. Before we had begun this Chola administration, we tried to understand about the Kaveri Delta region, where it was under the control of Muttariyar. This Muttariyar is a rich peasant there, and he was also the chief of that area, and he was defeated by Vijayalaya, the founder of Chola. And this Muttariyar and Cholas were the subordinates of the Pallavas actually. So they later established their control over the Kaveri Delta region, and they introduced many kinds of irrigational facilities through which agriculture got prospered there. It has become a very rich area because of the providing irrigational facilities. And the famous kings of Chola dynasty are Rajendra Chola and Rajaraja Chola. You have seen the construction of the temples like Gangaikonda Cholapuram and Tanjavur, which depict a splendid bronze sculptures of world famous. So these are the kinds of important points which we have seen in the last class. And at the end of the lesson, let me quickly tell you what we have seen in our previous class ending. We learnt about the land being donated to the other people like Velanvagi, Brahmadeya, Shalabhoga and Devadana. So what is this Velanvagi? Velanvagi means the land which is donated to the non-Brahmin people is called as Velanvagi. The land which is donated by the kings to a non-Brahmin is called as Velanvagi. Brahmadeya means the land which is donated to the Brahmins is called as Brahmadeya. Shalabhoga means the land which is donated for the schools is called as Shalabhoga. And Devadana means the land which is given or donated for temples is called as Devadana. So this is how we have learnt about the land being donated to the different organizations by the king. And you also have seen the entire empire was divided into mandalams, and mandalams got divided into Valnadus, Valnadus got divided into Nadus, and Nadus were further divided into Ur. Ur is nothing but it is a settlement of the peasants, rich peasants, all a group settled in Ur, and Urs turn into Nadus. These Nadus are being administrated by Vellala caste, rich Vellala caste people, and for them the king used to give them titles like Muvanda Velan or otherwise Ariyar. Ariyar means chief. And these people have administrative rights, administrative powers as well as judiciary powers also in order to distribute the justice for the people. So these were the things which we have seen in the previous class. Now let us move on to the Brahmadeya, the land which has been donated to the Brahmins, and how they used to organize this donated land. In order to organize their land, they used to often, generally Brahmins were the literated people or educated people, okay, and intellectuals. So these are the people who used to get the land as a grant in the form of Brahmadeya. A large number of Brahmin settlements emerged in the Kaveri Delta region and in the Kaveri Valley as in other parts of the South India. So these Brahmins, what they have done is each Brahmadeya was looked after by a assembly or a sabha of peasants or prominent Brahmana landholders. It is called as a sabha. What is a sabha? It is like a committee which will look after the land, Brahmadeya, and who are present in this Sabha? The prominent landholders, the Brahmins who own a large piece of land, those people will be present in this Sabha. So this Sabha, how it will be organized? These Sabhas were organized very efficiently. They used to function, and their decisions were even recorded on the scriptures. Even they used to record their decisions, and even associations of the traders known as nagarams were present here, also occasionally performed administrative works like the Sabha. Even there are nagarams which are the associations of the traders, and they also used to participate in the functioning of the villages or in the functioning of the nagarams. So inscriptions from Uttar Merur is nothing but a inscription was found in the excavation which is located at Chengalpattu district of Tamil Nadu. So this provides the details of how these Sabhas were organized. The Sabhas had separate committees for irrigation, to look after the irrigation works, to look after the garden, to look after the temples. In order to look after all these things, there was a separate committee within the Sabha again. So names of those eligible to the members of these committees were written on a small ticket of palm leaf, because paper was not available in the 8th, 9th centuries. So they followed palm leaf. They used to write the names of these eligible people on a palm leaf, and these tickets were put in the earthware in a pot. In an earthware pot they used to put, and they used to ask the young boy to pick up, a small child to pick up the names. So one by one each committee used to be called on, and the names were picked up from the pot, and this is how they had continued. And if you look at the Uttar Merur inscription in detail, so it consists of all those who wish to become the members, and whether the women can become the members of these Sabha or not. These all things are present, and what are the qualifications required in order to become the member of these Sabhas. The member of these Sabhas, he should be between 35 to 70 years of age, and he should be, most important qualification is he should own the land. He should be the owner of the land, and you should have your own home in that area. They should have the knowledge of the Vedas, and they should be well versed in the administrative matters, and they should be honest even. So these are some of the qualifications required in order to become the member of the Sabha. And there is a Periya Puranam, which is one of the written work of Tamil work, which is one of the 12th century Tamil work, Periya Puranam. So which informs us about the lives of ordinary men as well as the women of that region during the 12th century. On the outskirts of Adanur was a small hamlet of Puliyas. It's a smaller caste, or the lower caste people called as Puliyas. They studied with small huts under old thatchers and inhabited by agrarian laborers. Agrarian in the sense agricultural laborers. And these laborers are engaged in the menial occupations. They used to work, they used to take up small jobs. In the threshold of the huts, threshold in the sense in the entrance, in the threshold of the huts, they covered with strips of leather, and little chickens moved about in groups. Dark children who wore bracelets of black iron or otherwise pricking to their nose or pricking to their tongue is also found. These are some of the observations made in the Periya Puranam is found, where the people who are living in the other than Sabha region, they look like. These Sabhas are dominated by the Brahmins, and even the administrative work and the judiciary work will be generally taken up by these Brahmin class itself. But Periya Puranam tells about even the lower caste people, how they used to lead their life. This is about the Cholas administration, a splendid period in the history of India from 6th century to 12th century, and we have seen the great kings like Raja Chola and Rajendra I. That's it, children. Thank you.